Good morning, Lafayette. I'm your meteorologist, Brian Burden, here with your forecast for let's call it, and what time is it? It's April already, isn't it? I wanted to say spring, and then I wanted to say winter, and it feels like summer, and we're going to, this time of the year we can see any of those 3 to 4 different things. It'll feel like fall, but no leaves falling out of the sky at times. We'll see a little bit of everything usually this time of the year, but the forecast is looking warmer and warmer every day, it seems like. So it seems like we're going to get into a pretty good trend during the next few weeks where we're going to be pretty warm, and I'm excited about that. I think a lot of you are too. It's time to get outdoors. It's a time to start moving around. It's a time when 70 doesn't feel chilly. It feels really warm, and it's a time when 80 feels like it's 90 outside because it's been so chilly for the last 4 to 6 months for sure, for a lot of us, because many of us, during the fall, and it goes from 80 to 70, you feel like you're starting to get chilly and cold. But the opposite happens in the spring. We go from 40 to 50. All of a sudden, you're like, woo, it feels pretty good outside. As long as there's no wind, it feels pretty decent. We're going to see a lot of that really nice weather over the next few days for sure. Next week, we've been looking at the long-range prognoses here. Or what? We go out usually a couple weeks. We start looking at those. We can go out farther, but really after 3 to 5 days, your forecast can change so much from dry to wet to dry to windy to cold. It can change all kinds of different factors in 3 to 5 days, let alone 2 weeks out. But I still like to go and look at it. We look for the trends, and the trends have changed kind of from a up and down period to more warm. We'll see if anything else has changed today, if it's gotten that way and kind of stayed that way, or whether it is still going to be a lot of up and down like we normally see during the spring time frame. In the fall, we get another little up and down period, but it's not as long. It's not pronounced as much, and we don't get the severe weather with it that we usually get in the spring. But generally speaking, we'll see lots of those ups and downs. And just like this morning, here it is. We were down around 35. Yesterday, we were like 30 degrees in the morning, and it warmed up to about almost 50 degrees. Today, we're going to be even warmer. But then we'll start to pick up some warmer mornings, too, and less of a threat of frost out there for those of you who have gentle plants out there that need to be taken care of that can't get any of the frost on them and that kind of thing. So we'll be keeping out an eye on that. And we'll be keeping out an eye on what's going to be happening over the next month or so. And I will just run you through everything that I see, everything I would do on a daily basis if I was at the office, if I came in, whether it was for setting up for a TV shtick, which I've done for about 6 years, or whether it's been briefing generals or even dignitaries that come in, or just a general pilot who came into the counter that day. Most of it is about the same. I've never changed over the years. I got into a nice routines, things I like to look at. Every forecaster has specific things they like to look at and things they don't like to look at. And some guys cherish things a little bit more than others do. And you'll see that generally in forecasters and forecasting as a niche. Some guys are really good about winter weather. Some guys are really good about thunderstorms. Some guys are good overall with everything. And I feel like I'm kind of about that way. I can cover a little bit of everything and forecasted weather just about everywhere. So that means I kind of got a feel for what's been happening. It's kind of odd when you get that feeling when you're 12 years old that this is what you wanted to do, and then you ended up doing it for now 40 years, over 40 years. And every day I kind of wake up blessed that my family is around me. Blessed that I had a career that I was able to do things that I wanted to do work-wise. A lot of you aren't able to do that, and maybe physically you can't do that. Maybe you're just stuck in a job you can't do. We're going to pour those prayers out to you every day here from this spot if we can do that for you. For everybody around the local area, anybody we know, anybody who's just kind of stuck on their spot right now. Hopefully the forecast today and just coming here every day to listen and have fun and enjoy a little bit of life will be enough to pick your spirits up and get you moving forward to wherever you're headed. I need that myself sometimes, and I think we all do need that from any given point. So, What does the forecaster do when he comes in the morning? Well, he checks out the local weather. A lot of times I've drove in it, so a lot of times I'm seeing what I'm actually going to be looking at when I come in the morning. So I already know it's sunny out, or it's cloudy, or it's raining, or it's snowing, whatever it is. I don't have an idea. Maybe I have a pretty good idea how cold it is. Right now it's 40 degrees outside. We see that at the airport. We can see that in our numbers here. We can see our winds are out of the east-southeast at 9 miles an hour, and we're unrestricted on our visibility, so we're looking good on that front. And it's just a nice, beautiful morning, and a nice spring morning too. Temperatures are just about where they should be for this time of the year. We're about 38 or 39 for our average, I think, for the 8th of April, so that's not too bad. We're pretty close to that this morning. We're going to rise basically a pretty good amount above what we normally would see for this time of the year. Normally, we're going to be somewhere right around 60, 58 to 60 degrees for early April. But we're going to see some 70s in here. And if you look at this forecast, look at this. Only one day, Friday, is the temperature, the high actually at normal. And then we're above normal every day, including some very warm days on Sunday. I would not be surprised to see this temperature go up tomorrow. But it's all dependent on how quickly the cloud cover comes in for the system that comes in Thursday night into Friday. And we'll see what happens with that one. But a lot of good weather, at least on this. And if you remember yesterday, this was showing 60s, and I kept telling you it's probably going to be warmer, Same thing with Thursday, Friday, right? So the trends are already starting with the models, and I've seen model trends over the years that show that they just don't pick up on the warmth that fast, especially if there is cloud cover that is absent. Or less, right? And it just doesn't seem like the models pick that up that well. So we go with it, or I do in my mind, and it usually works out pretty well most of the time. And it looks like it's going to work out again this week. Temperatures are already starting to rise on the model, and these are just canned model numbers that are taken straight off of it. That's all the computer's doing here. So when you get your little bug and it says it's going to be 71 today and 75 tomorrow, it just took the numbers straight off of there. It didn't really look at it to see, is there rain? Is there not rain? Is there more sun? Is the winds out of the southwest? Are they out of the southeast? Are they out of the north? Things like that. It just took what the model has on it. Now, the model is looking at all those things too, but it has its own biases, just as like I have my own biases in it too. But for today, how about 40 degrees here early morning at 9 o'clock, rising up to about 71 degrees, it looks like. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice day for all of us. Now that we know, you drove in, you saw what was going on in the early morning hours. Hey, Bill. Bill's in this morning. Good to see you, Bill. Good to talk to you. Hopefully it's nice and sunny down in Tennessee this morning. I have definitely had a frog in my throat the last couple of days, and I've got that kind of flow of the early spring, what would you call it, cold, of course, right? A lot of times with that changing of the weather, you'll start to see that, and I'm getting that, it seems like, the last couple of days. So I got that little scratchiness to my throat. So, and then if you hear me breathing, you know what it is. It's just me struggling to breathe in the early morning hours with a cold coming on, pretty decent anyway. All right, so let's go take a look at some of the cameras around the area. In the state, I just started right up at State Road 18. It's just so much sunshine out and about this morning. I see some clouds off in the distance, and these are mostly higher clouds. You can see there pretty easily. Gorgeous. Bill says it's gorgeous down in Tennessee. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear that things are going good down there. He'll let me know if something's going bad. That's for sure. We both would tell each other if something was going wrong. That's what I like about friends and your closest friends that you've had in your life. They are not afraid to worry to tell you that things are going wrong. And he said the pollen's rough down there right now. So you can see that there are some problems other than just straight up sunshine and sunny, right? There can be some things out and about. So there was State Road 18. Now here's 43 cutting across I-65. This is down here the north side of Lafayette and the west side. It looks very nice there. We'll head over to 26, or actually 25 first. You can see looking back towards 43 looks very nice. It's more the same at 26. I just see some high clouds off on the horizon here and there in places. We have a system off to the north. Remember, there was a chance for some rain last night, just very, very minuscule chance. and that we thought most of it would stay to the north. Well, that's those clouds right there. And sure enough, I went back and looked at a couple of the model runs. As we got closer and closer to that rain, it just dried it up and dried it up. So I don't think anybody really got anything out of it. And we were only expecting some sprinkles, really, or a very, very light shower at worst out of that. And that doesn't look like it happened overnight. I don't see any rain on the grounds. I don't see anything that's even damp roads at all. It's just kind of dry for everybody this morning. We see some clouds down towards Indianapolis, and that's the tail end of that. And then as you go down towards Indianapolis, we still see a little bit of water in the fields, but starting to dry up here, right? This puddle yesterday, I think, was out to about here, and I could see a bit more of the water over here on the left side, too, in the fields. So down by Frankfort, starting to dry out. Maybe that'll help the farmers get out into the fields and get their work done over the next couple of weeks that they've got to get going on. And then you head all the way there. You take a look back towards the sun and towards Frankfort from the interstate itself. And it looks like there's a little bit of cloud cover over the rest area to the south between Frankfort and Indianapolis. So all right, I will try to step away when I have one of those. Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put the mute on when that happens is what I'm going to start doing. That way you guys don't have to listen to it. Let's take a look in local Lafayette. I'm going to zoom in real quick here. Up on the west side, looking back towards back to the north here, as you can see, you look at your shadows, so we know the east is this way, west is this way, right? You're to your north, you're looking really nice. That's out by the Walmart here, out on towards the areas on Cumberland Avenue and Sagamore Parkway coming together there. It's pretty bad. I don't know my roads that well. I can drive you anywhere, but ask me the name of the road, I may not know it. Out by the airport, looking really nice, looking back towards the Purdue campus. Very nice on that one, too. And then, of course, down by River Road, where 52 and 231 and all that comes together right there. And that's looking back towards the west a little bit more on that one. And one last shot that we like to get, which is the mall. And as a weatherman, I wish they'd point this up, but I understand they're looking at traffic more than they are anything else on here. That's where Teal Road comes into 52. So there's the map. I think I've told you about this in the past. You can find this pretty easily just checking on the internet, and you'll find cams for Indiana or something like that. You'll find it very easily, and you can go look at those yourself when you want to get a chance to do that. Let's take a look at the satellite picture. That would be the next thing. If I didn't look at the satellite right away, and I didn't look at cameras or even the local weather, satellite would probably be the next best thing. So that might be, I'm popping up all my computers in the morning when I come in, and maybe I'm changing shifts with somebody, and we've talked it over a little bit. So when you run a 24-hour weather office, you usually have just a little brief, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I'm seeing here, this is what I think's going to happen, and this is what I forecast for. And then that guy heads on home and gets his rest before he maybe comes back in that night, because we work a lot of 12-hour shifts in the weather field. So that's kind of how you walk through it. But say you're coming in cold, and you're like when I worked over at Grissom, we didn't work 24/7, so I would come in at 7 in the morning. I'd have to pop everything out, get forecasts out, get things ready to go, and that kind of thing. And I would look at the satellite, obviously, right away, because most of the time I will have driven in, so I have at least a general feel of what's going on. So a lot of times we look at the big broad picture, but I already have a good feel from what I've had for the last few days. So I feel like I can just look at what's going on right now. And here's the clouds from that system in Indiana. They've already passed off to the east of Lafayette, which is right here. So you can see some of those clouds that went through. And then we'll pop the radar up and see if there were any scattered showers, at least close by. And then we just have some high clouds in different spots around as high pressure starts to build in and tries to take over. The eastern half of the country looks really nice right now. I can see now where Bill is. He's just got some high clouds for some beautiful pictures in his area down just to the northeast of, actually it's northwest of Nashville, not northeast. I won't give your address. Bill's address is 54545. No, nothing like that, but Bill's down northwest of Nashville, and he's been living there for, wow, you've been there a while now, haven't you? Is it 10 years already? Is it that long? It's more than that, isn't it? So he's been down there loving Tennessee, and we're looking for a compound for ourselves down there. Don't tell Susie. Shh. All right, so weather looking pretty decent for us. A lot of high clouds, a lot of mischievous in there. Let's switch it over to the mosaic real quick here and see the radar. And you can see most of the rain stayed to the north up here by the lake. I don't see any showers down to the south with that little cloud band that went through. And you notice there's nothing else. This is all just ground clutter. The radars are just picking up bounces off of the atmosphere. We're not seeing any rain. The rain is back up towards Milwaukee, swings down, comes down through South Bend. Looks like maybe South Bend got a little light shower south of the lake, my old homestead, LaPorte there. And then you see some more rain back off to the north. And this is a system we'll keep an eye on for probably later in the week, actually, it looks like at this point. There's just not a lot. There's a little bit coming in towards Lincoln, Nebraska right now for those of you that, for the millions. Bill said 12, almost 12 right now, so... you can see, for those of you of our Lincoln viewers out there, you can see some of the scattered showers out there, and that would be all 0 of you. Although we got a friend that lives out there too. Nick's living out in the Lincoln area still, I think, and although he's probably down on the ice right now. Because he's still going down to Antarctica just about every year or every other year. Nick heads on down there. So let's go back to the IR here on that, and we can kind of see how everything's moving. You can see the scattered showers right there around Lincoln, right? There you go with those. You got your rain that's back off to the north, and then this system right here with the light rains that are out over Milwaukee and then back towards the northern and southern portions of Michigan, the northern portions of Indiana right now. So it's going through pretty quickly. We don't have a lot. We're getting into that kind of area where we're going to get the thrust up from the south, and we're going to get a bit of cold dropping to the north and to our northeast, and we're going to be in that pinwheel effect that I've talked about a bit yesterday a lot, where we get the rain that sets up somewhere along in here, and then there's kind of a pinwheel effect where you get the drop on one side and the push on the other. In between, there's not a lot of rain, but we kind of have been stuck on that spot the last few systems that have come through, and we're going to see that again. And I'm interested to see where that pinwheel is on the model when we go through it here in a little bit too. So let's zoom in a little closer, take a quick look at what we're going to see here, and you can see Lafayette right about here, and you can see there's just not a lot of cloud cover and not a ton to talk about today with that, although here we are at 17 minutes after the hour already, and we haven't even gotten to a single weather chart. You got to say, what's up with that, Brian? Well, that's what happens when you get a talkative weatherman. You get to wait for a bit. All right, so let's go straight to it. Let's go to the HRRR. The model has updated. We do have about 41% of the HRRR in, so let's take a look at least the early portions of the early HRRR that's out, and then we'll go back to the longer range one. And the HRRR this morning shows the showers off to the north, and when I looked at the previous model, and I'll tell you about that in a second, it had the showers, but it just knocked them off. It did not bring them into our area. So what are we going to see? Here we are at 9 o'clock, then we are at 10. Everything looks good, but watch these isobars out towards the west. See how tight they are in here. They're real close to each other. The isobars are the solid lines right in there. The iso heights are the dashed lines, and those are how thick the atmosphere is. Watch how the isobars start to tighten up and move towards Lafayette, and as they do that, that's just going to bring us a little bit stronger wind, and it allows for the warmth to come up from the south and to the southwest a lot easier when you have a stronger wind, right? Because temperatures are vectored around in the atmosphere. They move from one place to another based on wind a lot of times. There's other factors. You can always bring in factors such as what's the water around you, things like that. But generally speaking, temperature gets advected around the atmosphere. So here we are. This is 8 o'clock tonight, and we're just in this southerly, southwesterly breeze right here. And it's going to be nice and warm. And there's that system to the north that I said we needed to watch out for probably Thursday night into Friday, right? So this is the same system that was shown yesterday. And where will it pinwheel? Will we just stay south of it? Well, right now, it looks like we're going to stay just to the south of it. And this model only goes out till tonight, basically, until about 4 in the morning tomorrow morning, all right, 4 or 5 o'clock. And it still shows it to our north, and we're still in the nice warm pocket of air, and that's where we're at. So let's go back to the 6Z and see how far the 6Z goes out. Now look at it flashes, but it changed model runs, and the rain is in the exact same spot. It's in the exact same spot. It hasn't changed. So the model on the HRRR is very consistent where this is going to be. It brings it down towards us tonight, and here we are tomorrow morning at the same time frame, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we're going to see a couple scattered showers, very light precipitation off to our north. We're starting to become a little more westerly with our wind here, and like I said, you can kind of draw a cold front here, you'll get a warm front out here, there's a stationary point in between, and it's kind of like a pinwheel. Everything is rotating around that pinwheel at one point or another. So what happens to this? The rain drops a little to the south, doesn't quite get to us, maybe Monticello, Rensselaer, definitely again up by LaPorte, South Bend. I would not be surprised if this washes out, or even if it gets a little thicker. But look at our warm sector is trying to come back up towards the north, back out near Missouri there. So we're getting that pinwheel right around us. We can kind of see where the frontal boundary goes through, right through here, back to the north, and then the rain has stayed off of us, and we've stayed in the warm sector throughout most of this. And then as the day goes on tomorrow, here we are at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, right? And the rain is just scattered and off through northern Indiana, very light precipitation off into Missouri and southern Iowa. And we've gotten that pinwheel, and the low and everything is going to start arcing back towards the north. But it's kind of over us. So we're in the stationary pinwheel kind of area is what I like to call it. And then it brings in a chance for some rain. It looks like tomorrow evening. And then we're right on the boundary again. Why is it Lafayette is always on the boundary? Because it's just that happens to be where we're at any given time, of course. And I would say right now it looks like the rain stays off of us tomorrow night. And it's going to stay to our north based on this, okay? And it is very consistent, and it looked like that. And we'll see what happens by the end of this hour and see if we've gotten the entire 12Z out and the new run, and see if it does the same thing. It stops it real close to us. Now, if you can see, and then there's a big batch of the rain there, and then we start to watch to see what this low pressure system will do. Will it come ushering in, or will everything arc and stay above us for another day or so before we actually get into any types of weather along that system? So I was curious a little while ago, and I said, well, what is the NAM nest looking like? And I went back to about this spot here, and I went to the NAM nest, a different model, the North American model, right? And I said, well, look at the rain is pretty close to the same. What kind of pinwheel do we get out of this? Well, it just kind of falls. It has the system fall apart, right? Much less rain, maybe a couple scattered showers up near South Bend, but we have the same exact effect. You have a warm type sector here, you have a stationary boundary, and maybe a very weak cold front off to the northeast as it falls apart. And we're in that little spot, and it just shows an isolated sprinkle. I think we'll see just more cloud cover than anything tomorrow afternoon with this, and then into the evening hours, just not much to it. And then look at where it actually pops up most of the showers, even another 20 to 50 miles north of us. So I'd call that 20 miles to the farther to the north, definitely more up near Rensselaer, not quite as much near Monticello, and then it passes on through pretty easily, and then we start to see what's going to go on, because the NAM shows us farther out till Friday morning. And then here's where Friday's kind of the scattered showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, that kind of activity along that front. So let's go back to it. Let's zoom in real quick here, and so we can see exactly where the rainfall is and how close it does get to us. And I'm going to stick with the NAM here on this one. We know that the HUR is really close to this also, but it brings in just that isolated chance for a shower late tonight. Very isolated at best. I mean, I'd be telling most people, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. It's definitely not going to affect anything aviation-wise. It's going to kind of just some scattered drizzly. Maybe we might get a little bit of drizzly kind of feel out of this. But look at, there's Monticello, and Lafayette's right here. There's Monticello, and kind of in between there, just a sprinkle at best. And then we start to form a little bit to the north, and there it is right there. Even if I go back an hour or two tomorrow night, this is midnight tomorrow night, there's a shower, appears to be some potential for some rain right around the Monticello area tomorrow night around midnight, okay? So you can see, though, the band is to our north, and you can kind of draw a distinct line around it right through that area there. So that's what you're going to see there. And then it kind of just pushes back towards the north and brings us another chance of rain. Our first chance is maybe tomorrow morning around this time, just a sprinkle or two. And then there's a decent batch of some showers try to come through around noon tomorrow, and then we'll see how that goes, and we'll see how the new HRRR pops that up on its map as it comes in the next hour or so. Now, if you go farther out in the bigger NAM, and the bigger NAM goes out a little farther, same thing, it kind of washes out, but look at how sporadic it is. It's just spotty in spots because we're in that kind of stationary frontal boundary, and it sags maybe a little to the south, and we stay out of it for a little bit into the morning hours on Saturday morning, right? And then we don't see any rain with it, and then we're going to turn around and get back into better weather a little bit farther out from that. So let's go back out. There's our sectors back out, and we can see that. And let's just confront all the precipitation here over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to swap it out, and we're going to go to the European model. Let's get into its boom, 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 precipitation. There we go. There you go. So that's where we've got on the front on that. Here it is Saturday morning. We've seen it sag the stationary front, or at this point, it's just a very weak cold front to the south of us, right, by Saturday morning. And then we start to see, well, when's the next? We see the next warm batch starting to come right in here. Look at this, how we're turning southerly here, southerly here, southerly here. We're still kind of southeasterly, which isn't bad. This is Saturday night at 11 o'clock. And then it kind of washes through, and we get into the warm sector by Sunday morning. And that tells me we're going to have a pretty warm Sunday. And we get into a pretty good Sunday morning there, pretty decent weather. And then by Monday, now we're talking, this is 11 o'clock at night, Sunday night, getting towards midnight, right? And then we're pushed to 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe we're into a scattered shower, but we kind of get hopscotched over again. The Great Lafayette Bubble is taking over. Shows showers south of us, but boom, finally, Monday, midday, we bring in some of that as we get another thrust from the south a little bit on that, and we start to bring up some of the showers and potential thunderstorms on Monday afternoon. Time frame on this is about 2 o'clock. So there you go, noon to 2 o'clock on Monday. We finally get some actual rain in here, something that's significant anyway. That goes through pretty quickly. And then we're going to push on out to Tuesday. Tuesday looks dry at the moment, but then by the afternoon, look at this, into some thunderstorms to our north, a big batch of thunderstorms, a lot of moisture to the south, and then we'll have to see what taps out on this one. Most of the heavy rain looks like it wants to stay to our north during the afternoon into the evening hours, but we are going to get some showers, and then there's another quick band of maybe some thunderstorms popping off into the midnight hour overnight, Tuesday night into Wednesday. And Wednesday looks a little rainy here, does it not? There we go. Oh, and there's your thrust of the low. Now, this looks more typical of what we would like to see. Low pressure, there's a trough on the backside, there's a cold front, there's a warm front out in front, might be even an occlusion wrapped in there with the trough. This is more of a system-type system here for next Wednesday into Thursday. So we'll keep an eye on that. It looks a little disjointed. You've got a cold front here and a warm front, a little chaotic, but there's plenty of moisture around the system, right? So we are seeing showers around us on probably Wednesday, and then Thursday we get a little more into it next week, and then it ushers in some cooler weather, but not real cold. The 540 line is way up to the north, so hence the reason I was telling you it's going to feel warm. If you watch the lead-in and the lead-in picture to here talking about summer, it's going to feel pretty warm to most of us. And then we just watch a little bit cooler temperatures, but then we start to bring in another more system, and we can see showers and thunderstorms down near Tennessee popping off by next Sunday into Monday. We'll see how that kind of happens, but I don't trust much of this. I just kind of look at the trends for this kind of thing. And we see a mixture of moisture on Monday and Tuesday. We're back into the warm sector, but we have a chance for a thunderstorm or two on next Tuesday the 21st. So now we're 2 weeks out, guys. But then we still have this kind of lined up thunderstorms that we saw yesterday. I think it kind of had it more on Monday evening. Now we're Tuesday morning with this. So you notice how it's adjusted a little bit to the longer time frame. But we'll keep an eye on that because that looks like that has a little bit stronger potency to it than some of them that have come through during that time frame. So rain-wise, it looks like we have that little bit of a chance as we get through the weekend here. We're kind of fairly dry most of the next week, but then we have a couple big systems that could come through that may anchor us into something. Let's see what the GFS says about that. Let's come back to the beginning here, and then let's change to what I like to see, the green myself. And this also is trying to give us an indication. It looks too warm right now for any snow. And then we'll have to see an eye on that. Does this thing try to bring something in? So here's the system on Friday, and it's trying to bring it in. And it washes it. Now, the GFS leaves it a little bit farther to the north of us until Friday night around midnight, right? And then here we are Saturday morning. And then, boom, Saturday, right around 8 o'clock in the morning, we start bringing in our chances of rain showers. We see our system right through here, right? One low is here. There's another low here. There's probably another low to the northeast and east of us, way out over the Adirondacks or out over the northern Appalachian Mountains. And then we move off towards it sags, I guess is the word we want to look for. It sags to the south of us, and it shoots another shot up there. Boy, we jumped a picture or two there on that one, and we lost it. But then it starts to set up a southerly flow again. Remember I said Sunday was going to be warm, and we get into it. We lose a couple pictures on the GFS there. I'm not sure why. And then it brings in that some rain Sunday night into Monday. But look at how it hopscotches over us until Monday. Boom, there's that same batch of thunderstorms that we saw on the European model, and that kind of pushes it and punches through on us on Monday pretty quickly, leaves some scattered light showers around, but then it's pretty dry the rest of the week and fairly warm just by looking at that. And then here comes our system on, now we're into Tuesday night into Wednesday, and we're watching out here. We got thunderstorms up to the north. We've got a low pressure system out to our west. Maybe a line of thunderstorms comes through Tuesday evening. And then we see our decent sized storm go through Wednesday, and then the time frame on that passes on and it goes through Wednesday into Thursday, and then we're drier again for a while. There's Thursday, Friday. We don't see much happening. Friday, maybe some showers come in. We're in the warm sector. We're kind of bouncing between warm and hot at times. And then we see that we can get some of that moisture back in late in the week, Sunday. And then what does it look like? Remember I said it looked rainy for the following week. Here we are Monday. Now the GFS says, look, it's going to be south of us. And then we start to pick up a decent system on Wednesday into Thursday, and even tries to pop some snow on us for a while there. But that's way out. That's more than 2 weeks out now. So now we're talking 15 days out. Could there be a snowstorm on Thursday, April 23rd? Dun, dun, dun. My guess is no. So, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. That's 2.5 weeks away almost. And there could be some snow right there. Look at how cold it gets all the way even down to Tennessee, down there where Bill's at this morning. So there you go. Even cold weather it pushes its way down that far. I'm going to say no at this point. So let's go back to now. Let's go back to the HRRR real quick here. Take a look at the temperatures. And see what's in store for us now. Now, we know we see the southerly flow coming up today. It's going to be pretty nice today. Let's zoom in close so we can give you a good indication of what's happening. We can still see Iowa and Wisconsin pretty easy on this picture. We are right here where the 51 is. Okay, so this was 6Z in a day or two. Let's go back to where we are now. All right, there we are. This is the, let's see which run this is. That's the 6Z. Let's go to the 6Z. Matter of fact, let's go to the 12Z. We'll go to that one real fast since it's about 70% done now. 70% done right now. Here we are this morning. There's 9 o'clock. Shows us at 39 degrees. And what were we? We were 40. What are we up to now? We are up to 43 already, so a pretty big change now. Does this pop from the 39 to 40 that you see here is Lafayette, here is Monticello. It's got a pretty good banding there to give you an idea where we're at. Logansport is up over here at 37, Rensselaer 38. Then you go up to like Rochester and it's 35. So you can see how some of the cities set up. Then you're over towards Danville at like 41, or even the Covington area somewhere in there. And right now, the next hour, it popped us to 43, and here we are. We're zooming into 43 already this morning. Okay, so we're going to warm up pretty rapidly today. Might take the slingshot out this afternoon. We'll have to see that. Got to take Joshy into town for an appointment. Maybe we'll do that this afternoon in the slingshot. 4 o'clock, it's right around 70 degrees. So very nice this afternoon into the evening hours. Very gentle. I'd call it a gentle breeze. It doesn't look that strong. It shows about 15 knots around us. And then we stay warm overnight, fairly warm. We drop down to maybe the 50s. There you go. Look at that, about 50 degrees, 49. And our average low this time of the year is in the upper 30s. So we're like 38, 39. So we're 10 degrees above normal there after a day today where we're about 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Then we warm up tomorrow. Same thing, 75. Look at this. We're pushing towards that 80 mark. And it looks like it wants to stop at around 77 for tomorrow evening for us. And this is where I could see maybe the 80s stretching into us tomorrow, but definitely upper 70s for sure. This is the new model run on the HER coming in, and it'll give us a few more hours here coming up shortly. Let's see what the NAM Nest says. The NAM Nest notoriously a little colder, and sure enough, it only shows us at like 71 tomorrow. I've noticed this over the time too, that the NAM is a little bit colder. It's just stubborn on dragging the temperatures up there. Where the HER working at different data and is closer in and is a shorter time frame has a tendency to be a little closer, but it's still a little under on its highs already. So still shows very warm temperatures overnight. Tomorrow night into Friday morning, right? And then we know that system's going to be in our area on Friday, and it only shows us getting maybe up to about 60, 62 on Friday, and that's late afternoon on the front there with that one. So when we change over to GFS at the same time frame, it only shows us in the pocket of 60s, and this could just be an hour or two difference on your time frame. Remember, it's working in 3-hour periods. See, it tries to get us right up to about 62, and that's in Crawfordsville. I mean, shows a 7-degree difference in 20 miles. So very, very much so. Now, yesterday we saw cold air filter straight down the lake. We see that again already here on Friday. Let's see what happens again. Does it continue that out? It sure does. It brings it down into us. And there were some pockets of cold, remember, in northern Indiana where we knew there were clouds over the lake and clouds probably over us, but there were open spots. We saw that yesterday too, where they got into the 20s. And it does not show that today. It just shows 30s for everybody for Saturday morning, and upper 30s for us, and for them it looks like mid to upper 30s for northern Indiana. Then we rebound on Saturday. Our rebound's only into the lower 60s, so I would go for like 65 here probably is a good bet, because I think this is low on its numbers. I'm not too far off on the lows, but I think the highs are still 5 degrees off on the GFS probably, generally speaking, especially when I get a nice strong southerly flow here and I see 70 and 68 there. I'm thinking Sunday 75. All right, 75 on Sunday. Watch it adjust as we get closer and closer. It'll adjust, but we do have a system off to our north, because we can see while we're getting a nice southerly flow, if I remember right, we had some shower potential coming in on Sunday night. And then sure enough, it stays very warm overnight, Sunday night into Monday morning. Look at that, Monday morning, 61 degrees. That's the high normally is 61 degrees. So there you go. You can see how warm it's going to be. Stays pretty warm, gets us back up to like 70, so I'll punch it a few more degrees, 70. Look, it even shows 71 in Logansport. So 70 to 75 is a pretty good bet right there for Monday. And then we're going to push it out to Tuesday, 72 after a warm night Monday night. And look at all these temperatures. They're just warm. Warm. By the end of the month, even the end of the month, in the middle of the month, our highs are only supposed to be about 63. And we're still in the 70s just about every day. And we're probably talking low to mid 70s just about every day. And we might scratch 80 every once in a while. As we get the nuances of where the lows are and the influxes of weather and the angles, depending on these systems, we could pump a little 80 in here pretty easily. So keep that in mind. The farther out we're getting, the systems, the big broad systems, are seen very well by the model, but they're not seen as those little small minor perturbations, as we used to say. Minor perturbations, just a small low, small change in the wind, something. It doesn't pick those up as well the farther out it goes. But here we are on Wednesday, and it's way out to 72. This is Wednesday. Woo, there we go. Get it back on there. Wednesday, the 15th of April. So next Wednesday, nice warm day there. All right, and then we get that little shot of cold. It looks like we may get a little shot, maybe back into the 30s, and that's not the we normally are on the 15th of April, right around 41. So this is not out of the ordinary. As a matter of fact, it's the first day in a while that we will have been below the normal or real close to normal on that day, next Thursday. So after this morning, that is. Meanwhile, warmth comes right back. There you are. You're in the 50s to near 60 on Thursday into Friday, and then back into the 60s and 70s. It looks like next Friday into Saturday. There's Saturday. We see the approaching system. And then, if I remember right, the GFS wanted to start bringing in one last big storm out of the north, right? Let's see what happens with that. It gets a little colder next Saturday into Sunday. I'll call it Sunday. Saturday still looks good. Saturday's back into the 50s, high 50s for your highs. And then Monday's colder. And then we're back into the 50s again on that following Monday, the 20th, and trying to get to 60 or 70 again by the 22nd. And we're not going to get any snow. It's just, even based on this, I know it wants to, but where is it? It's somewhere right in here. It wants to bring us some snow chances. If it's only going to go for 42, even I'm not an idiot. I know I can get snow at 38 pretty easy. A flake an acre, Bill says. Yeah, for some of that snow it showed. Okay, maybe let's go for a flake an acre for that following Monday, April 20th or whatever that day was that it was trying to force some snow in here. Right now, the temperatures don't look like they're anywhere even close to what we could get out of that for that system. But we'll see what happens. We'll see if something happens way out on the 22nd or whatever it is of April. And so definitely decent temperatures for just about all of us during that time frame. So weather-wise, we're looking pretty good. Let's go back and look at the satellite real quick. Let's see if we're starting to pick up some visual shots a little better. We've been getting more and more of these now, right? You can kind of see the line go cut across. Watch this. There it goes. Kind of differentiating between the visual and the IR, kind of breaking up. Now, I still have the high clouds enhanced a bit on here. That's why you're seeing the different oranges and yellows and a little bit of whites and some blues with some of those, but I can pick out the low clouds really easy on here on this. You can switch to just an all visual mode, and you'll notice that at the beginning it's pretty dark, and then at the back it's not. And here's Lafayette. It looks like a little cloud bank wants to come through us here pretty quickly, and then it kind of clears out, and then just some spotty clouds here and there. Maybe there's a weak little, maybe something popping up. It almost looks like it is right there behind the little wave. Maybe it's arcing back a little bit this way. But right now, there's not much in the forecast to be seen out and about around the local area anywhere. And we see the showers still. You can see them very easily on the visual out towards Lincoln as the sun comes up out there. And then the rain and even a thunderstorm or two right here. You can see a couple buildups out over Lake Michigan. So if you're going towards Chicago today or somewhere into Michigan, and I know a lot of people from Lafayette spread out and go different places. Maybe you're going to Michigan today. Well, look for a little bit of scattered rain, but generally speaking, you're going to be following the rain. If you're heading towards Ohio, you're going to run into some potential for some scattered showers out there, especially northern Ohio. If you're going towards St. Louis, you're going to be okay, other than why are you going towards St. Louis? I don't understand that. Those of you St. Louis Cardinal fans out there, it's that time of the year. Cubs won last night. That gets us into a good mood, right? Here, at least on Let's Talk Lafayette. We're in a good mood. We were in a poor mood after Purdue did not make the Final Four, but came close. They got into a good game with a very good team who then got walloped by the national champion Michigan team. And now we switched modes into baseball for the time being, and we'll keep a little focus on basketball off and on over the next period. And I will follow a little bit of golf. What is happening tomorrow? For those of you diehards, you know exactly what's happening tomorrow. First day of the Masters. And I will be watching a lot of that, and I may be watching it on the big screen out in the barn, I think. Matter of fact, we have a tea time set up for 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for some friends coming over. That'll be exciting to watch us. Well, it probably won't be me. I think my knees aren't going to be able to take it, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll wake up in the morning. I'm not sure if I'm even going to do the show tomorrow, Friday morning. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Friday morning. I'm not sure if I'm even going to do the show on Friday morning. I might just watch the Masters and watch everybody play the Masters, because we'll play that course on our simulator out in the barn, and we'll have some fun with that. So I'm excited about that for sure. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see. We've now bumped up to 44 degrees. We're seeing just small changes in the forecast as new model data is coming out. What do the cameras look like? I wanted to look back out there towards the west a little bit. There's a camera out here. Where is that thing out here? It's out near Fowler, right? There it is, out on 41. Who put the lone camera out here on 41? And I swear this picture has been here for days, and it may have been. I'm not sure if it's got enough refresh on it or not. I'm going to hit it real quick, see if I lose it. Well, it still looks pretty sunny out there, but I see just a little batch of clouds. And it seems like that's the same truck we saw on here yesterday. So I'm worried that, what's it say, 4th at 8. That makes me, that's today, right, at 9:39. Okay, it's actually showing local time, 9:39, so it's only 5 minutes old. Not bad on the picture out there. It looks pretty good out there, at least all the way out in Fowler. And on the northwest side of town, looking gorgeous, seeing sunshine there. That one's 8:42. Let's see if we got a new update on that. That's still 8:42. Must only take a picture once an hour. Come on, guys. Pay the bills over there. Take some more pictures. Out by 43, Battleground and the interstate. This is just in the last couple minutes. Also, lots of sunshine here. And this is the exit I always get off to come to my homestead a lot. So there's that one. You go a little bit farther south, there you are where 25 comes into the mix. Lots of sunshine there. Still not seeing a lot of clouds. There we go. Now we can see a little bit of clouds on 26. We're seeing some of those clouds way off to the north that are way up over northern Indiana. You can see some of those, probably 60 to 70 miles away, maybe even more in some spots, depending on the type of cloud. And we can see some clouds out on the horizon, too, to the south. Not Tennessee south, but definitely south of Lafayette, down towards Indianapolis and down that direction. This is the Dayton exit of Lafayette, just on the south side. And then there's Fowler down to the south, too. So lots of sunshine on their front there. Let's see if the new model has continued on. There's your satellite picture. And have we gotten to the 100% mark yet? Let's see what we've got here. Come on. There we go. We are at 93%, and we'll pop it out here. We'll see the warmth go through the day today. There we go, getting up near 70. I'm definitely going for 70 this morning for this afternoon. Same thing tomorrow, maybe even closing in on 80 tomorrow. So we'll call it, I'm going to go 72, 73 this afternoon, and I'm going to shoot for 79 or 80 tomorrow is what we'll look for. And then by the time we get to Friday morning, and here we are at 5 o'clock in the morning Friday, it's still only 56, 59 degrees in the area, and we got that system that'll be coming towards us. What does a precip look like with that at that time frame? Shows it not too far away from us by that time frame. And we're not fully done, but by 10Z, which, as everybody knows, if you've been paying attention to me, is 6 in the morning. Rain is right on the doorstep at that point. So that's Friday morning. So let's not get that too confused. Could there be a couple thunderstorms in there? There could be. Let's go take a look at the National Weather Service real quick here. Let me get into my weather page. Indy. There we go. Oh, no, I don't want that one. I got it here somewhere, guys. Bear with me. Storm Prediction Center. There we go. So here's today, right? Categorical. All your thunderstorms are out to our west. Out south of Lincoln, we saw those band of showers and thunderstorms going into the Lincoln area. Well, down south of that, the front will trail down there, and in the middle of Kansas looks like a chance for thunderstorms today. So day outlook 2 gives us a slight risk for a thunderstorm in our area, it looks like right now. So I'm not too worried about that. I don't think any of us are. And day 3, it's already pressed south of us. So it doesn't look like much at all. I hate this. Day 4, it comes back and says the chances aren't good at anything. Well, that bugs me, 15% here. Is it due diligence? Shouldn't they be able to put out a little bit more? It doesn't have to be accurate. It just needs to have general ideas. I feel like they just don't want to put a forecast out past day 4. But I've never worked there, so I don't know. That's probably why they don't want me working there. Because I'd be like, we need to put out more data, more information. That's what we need to do for everybody. All right, so it's 10 till 9 this morning. 44 degrees outside. I am going to call it a day. Got a scratchy throat, got a little rumblings going on. Hopefully I'm not getting sick. I will be back again tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Friday will be the iffy day. We'll see how it goes. And I hope you enjoy a gorgeous day in Lafayette and down in Tennessee for my buddy Bill. If he's still hanging on, he hasn't gone to work yet. And I hope you just enjoy a beautiful blessing that you have been given in not only the weather today, but the people around you, the loved ones that you have near you. If you don't have any near you, know that your friends love you, your family still loves you, even though they're not there. And even under the worst times, even in the deepest depressions, there are people that want you to be around them and that you are wanted and loved. I just want to keep that in mind. I've battled depression over the years many, many times, and it's just something that snaps right up at the drop of a hat. It seems like it's there. And if you're in one of those spots today, just know that God loves you, I love you, and the people who are listening here love you, and people around you, there are many that you don't think do, but they do care about you very much. So have a blessed day, and we'll see you back tomorrow. See ya!